Good morning. So we're going to do our first lesson today. I'm going to try to make it about 15 minutes, and then you can work in your teams with each other. Okay, I'll put you in the breakouts. We'll take some questions, and then you guys can work in a minute. Okay. All right. So our first lesson here is about the distance formula, and just to review graphing, because I know it's been a long time since we've done that. Remember that these are our negative x's. This side is our positive x's. These are our positive y's. These are our negative y's. This is the origin, the middle. These are actually all SAT placement and placement test questions that could show up on stuff over at COD. So I know they seem silly, but these definitely could end up as questions. They like little tricky questions like that. What's what? The quadrants. Quadrants start here. Everything that's positive, like your ordered pair would be a 1, 3. Quadrant number 2 is when you have like -2 and then +7. Quadrant 3 is when you have a negative number and a negative number, like -3, -4. And the fourth quadrant is when you have a positive number then a negative number, like 4 and -2, something like that. Okay, those quadrant numbers are super important for trig. We did not hit trig in Algebra 2 or trig last year very heavy at the end of the year. We are going to spend a lot of time on trig this year to help get you guys through your placement tests. So if you can start learning those quadrants and keep that somewhere in the back of your brain, that's going to be very helpful. Okay. All right, so find the distance between B and G. Straight line is always the best, but that's diagonal. It's not going to help us. Okay. We need to look at our ordered pairs. So this is 4, -3. So -4, -3. And then we have this one up here. Oh, excuse me. There's no pause button. So sorry about that. And now we have 4, 4. So B is -4, -3, and G is 4, 4. We want to find the distance between those. Do not mix up distance here with going up and over. This is called slope. We do not want the slope between them. We want the distance. One way to find the distance is to use Pythagorean theorem. So you could figure out how far is it from here to here. So -4. So if we start here and we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This side is 7. And then start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, didn't count that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This side is 8. So that's a right angle. So we could go 7 squared plus 8 squared equals this side, our distance. So we have 49 plus 64 equals our distance squared. And that was a 4. So then we have 113 equals our distance squared. And you are perfectly allowed, it's legal to leave that as the square root of 113. I do not want you guys to simplify those this year yet. I don't want you to deal with it. If you really have to put that in your calculator, you can put it in and find it. I think it comes out 10.4 or something, but it's not something that you have to do. All right, now I can get rid of that. So I think it comes out 10.5 or something, but you don't have to do that. If you don't want to use Pythagorean theorem, you don't want to try to count those, what if they're off the graph? What if they're too big? What if it's something like this next one where we have no lines, and this would be a huge pain in the butt? We're still going to kind of use that Pythagorean theorem idea. How long is this side and this side? To find this side over here, but we're going to use the distance formula, okay? In other years, I would have made people derive this. Derive means figure it out, find the formula, but I'm just going to tell you guys the formula. So the distance formula, remember, is d equals the square root. Now what you're going to do is you're going to subtract these two numbers. You have to figure out this distance. So I'm going to take the second y, x2, minus our first y, x1, and that's squared. That's going to give me this side over here. Then I have to add, doing the same thing on this side, taking my y values. So I have y2 minus y1 squared. And if you think about it, that distance from here to here was a number. That's how I got 7. I went from here to here, over here. That's how I got my 8. I added those together. So see, here's where I added them. I found my distance. I squared it. I added them. Found the distance, squared them, and then we took the square root. So that's how that formula works. Okay, so here again is the formula. You need to memorize it. I'm sorry, on this note sheet, I don't know why it does that. It's something with notability. But. Okay, so find the distance between these two. So that's really what today is about, just practicing this. Make sure you show your steps. If you forget the square root and you try to throw it on at the end, you could get the wrong answer. Please show all of your work. So I have x1, y1, x2, y2. It might be helpful for a little while to write those out. So I have 2 minus a negative 4 squared plus y2 is 6 minus 3, that's y1, squared. So I still have my distance, my square root, minus a negative right here becomes positive. So we have 2 plus 4, that's 6 squared. 6 minus 3 is 3 squared. So now I have the square root of 36 plus 9. And if you need to get a calculator out and do it, that's fine. Square root of 45, leave it alone. You do not have to turn that into a factor tree and do all that. You can if you want to. The answer would be 3 square roots of 5 because that's 9 times 5. But you don't have to go this route. It is the true answer, but you don't have to. Or you could put it in your calculator and I think get 6.7. But you don't have to do that either. You are more than welcome to leave it as 45. Okay? And then, since this is math modeling, we need to start putting some story problems together. But I'm going to let this one go for today. We are going to let this one go, and tomorrow we will do this one together. And there's one on your homework. Do not do the one that looks like this on your homework. Do not do this on homework. For one reason, this number's cut off, even though it's right here. You could copy it over, but don't do this one on the homework. We will look at this one a little bit together when we come back as a class. I'll set it up a little bit. We'll talk about it, but we're really going to do more of this one tomorrow. So, done. Your first note sheet. Woohoo! Come back to the classroom now on Zoom. Thank you.